Hi, welcome back, my dear student. In this lecture here, we're going to test our code to see if it works because we wrote a lot of code here, a lot of lines, and we don't know if it works, all right? So we need to make sure that it works before we continue. We don't want to write, you know, 30 more methods and then find out that our instantiation method did not work. And this is one of the most important things that we got in our code right now and that we will have, all right? So let's make sure the way we make sure that this works is by actually making this public and calling it from this side right here. So let's just make it public for now, all right, because it's private. We won't be able to use it unless we name it public. And we also need to put a parameter here, and that parameter is going to be found user, all right? Okay, and that's all we got to do on this side here. All right, on this side right here, all right, we need to make a variable and we're gonna call it statically because it's a static method, all right, just like we did on above here. And it's called insta, and let's just copy that name of that method right here and let's just paste it right here. There we go. And why you think we're gonna pass it in? Because we have to pass it a parameter so it goes into the database, right? Well, this is what we're getting from the database right here, from the table. That's what we are going to be passing in. All right, the user, right? Found the user, found the array. We're gonna pass it in. Once we pass in that array, all right, that result set is gonna come here. Is going to instantiate the object, and then it's going to get each of those columns, or you could say array values, and assign it to our different object properties, and then it's going to return that object to us. All right, that's it. That's all we got to do here. And if you come back here and click enter, you can see that we still have that number 2 there, and we can change it and show you that it works by saying username. There we go. You see that? So now we come back here, we can see that we eliminated a lot of code. All right, so this is looking a lot better now. Now we won't be able to do this on this lecture here because it's gonna get long, but on the next lecture we are going to be doing this in a loop. I think it's actually a lot better to do it in a loop than to do it here, because imagine if we had a table with 20 columns, we will have to do this individually one by one. That would be very tedious. All right, so on the next lecture we're going to use a for each loop. We're going to loop through the array, right, and we're going to assign the values to our object properties. We're going to assign those values and make them object property. We're going to do this. This is going to be really cool, right? And this is something that is going to allow you to become a better programmer and a master in object-oriented programming with PHP. All right, it's going to help you in your future applications. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I see you in the next lecture. You're doing a great job if you're following me. Take care.